Well, that was an impressive drive considering he was only using two-wheel drive. And now we take a look at Mike Wine, the Jersey Outlaw, and there is Thunder Chicken, Kid Rarig. The Ford against the Chevrolet.
Both have a real good start. The Outlaw gets a little bit ahead, but remember, he's on the inside on this end of the track. It could be a different story when they get around the other end.
He takes a look at these junk cars the first time over. Rather smoothly, bounces a bit coming over, but look at the bounce of Kid Rarig. And right now, the Outlaw certainly has the advantage, despite the fact he is on the outside. Here comes the Kid.
Kid Rarig starting to catch up to him a little bit. It's going to be real close here at the final, Gary. They're both putting the hammer down, and it's Outlaw takes the win.
Well, the Outlaw really won that one because of the advantage he had built up in the first half of the run. Kid Rarig closes down the Thunder Chicken. The last turn across the cars, and look how close it is.
And one thing about this half-mile track, Gary, there's time for mistakes. If something happens, you can make up for it in a later end of the track down at the other end and really make up a lot of time.
Well, the Outlaw, the Jersey Outlaw with Mike Wine, will now advance to second round competition as he knocks out the Thunder Chicken. Remember, the fastest two losers from the first round of competition will advance. Any used car parts, we have them here at Louisville. We're coming back, so stay with us. Rich Hooser, Army Armstrong, and Gary Lee back in Louisville, Kentucky. Here is the Ford Motor Company lot. Have you driven a Ford recently? We have a lot of Fords to cheer for, but one is the fast qualifier, and here he comes right now with a bye run in the first round. Andy Brass, Bigfoot number 4. He was the fast qualifier. He will take on King Crunch here in the second round. Also, Micro Machine and Thunder Chicken. Micro Machine has won that matchup, so the Micro Machine advances to the semifinals. Also in second round competition, Equalizer against Carolina Crusher, and No Problem will take on the Jersey Outlaw. Figure 8 competition here at the Louisville Motor Speedway, a most unique format for monster truck racing. And there is a look at Scott Stevens in the Auto Value King Crunch alongside Andy Brass, your fast qualifier in Bigfoot.
This is going to be an absolutely terrific race. Both trucks are running fabulous right now. King Crunch makes a good tight corner there, but watch it as he comes around here. He's taking a little wide. He's got to let off the gas a little bit while Andy pours it on. And watch these guys when they hit the cars. Look at Andy just fly over them. Almost cleared them all, Gary.
Well, Andy Brass had a rough landing, bounces a bit. They almost get together right here. And Scott Stevens has a problem. He heads for the outside wall, loses a lot of territory between those two trucks, and Andy Brass will take the victory in the Ford.
And Scott Stevens does a pretty good job of trying to catch up, but look at the rough bounce he takes, loses the fiberglass off the front end of his vehicle. And of course, Kevin Ford is down there. There he is right there. He's the crew chief for Scott Stevens Auto Value King Crunch. Now watch here on the replay. As you see here, they almost get together. Scott lets out of it a little bit to let Bigfoot get around the corner. But he tries to catch up to him, and he almost does. But look at him carry that left front tire around that corner. He's trying to catch up to him, but he just doesn't do it.
That looks like a midget on a quarter mile lifting that left front. And a hard shot right there on the landing, and that takes care of that fiberglass hood. Almost knocks the fiberglass door off as well. The fans are bathed in sunshine here in the Bluegrass State as we take a look at the autograph left on the concrete wall. This is from Gary Porter, and this is the way it happened back in round 1.
Now watch right there as you've seen the front tires hit that last car. There was like a hole in the car that caused it to shoot up like that, and it just stayed in the throttle. But not knowing how far he can go, he had to hit the brakes and bring it on down.
Well, here is Gary Porter once again in the Carolina Crusher, this time against Equalizer. He, by virtue of being one of the fastest losers from round 1, has a chance to come back in round 2. The Equalizer with Greg Holbrook.
Oh, and he's pumped up. Did you see the whole shot he pulled on Equalizer? He's going to get a good chance to stay ahead of him, but Equalizer's tightening the gap up here coming around that first corner.
Chevrolet against Chevrolet. Greg Holbrook in equalizer. Gary Porter, the Carolina Crusher. This time he keeps the nose down, but the nose of the equalizer gets up. And oh, I thought maybe he, well, he did. He lost the right front. The right front has been popped off the rim, and that will do it for the equalizer.
Gary Porter's going to have the win here. I'm sure he knows it by now. Yeah, you can tell he's slowed down. He's going to take it easy over the cars. He knows he has the victory, so no sense in doing any damage to his truck.
Let's take a look again. Now watch with the force that Greg Holbrook comes down off these junk cars, and he pops the tire right off the rim, right there.
He actually bent that wheel a little bit, Gary. It's got a little bit of bend in it. If he can get it heat it up a little bit and bang it back with a big hammer, he ought to be able to get the tire aired up.
Well, of course, his day is finished, however. This is round 2 competition, so no fast loser advancing on. Gary Porter will, however, be in the semifinals, the Final Four, and there is a big wave from the cockpit of the Carolina Crusher. Well, the fans roar their approval as our quarterfinal round continues with John Moore in no problem. That is the Ford Bronco. He will face another Ford, the Jersey Outlaw, with Mike Wine.
Now, Mike Wine's been having some tough luck here today. His truck has not been running too good. Let's see what he's going to do against No Problem.
A slight hesitation there on the part of John Moore in No Problem. And with that inside short lane, Mike Wine now has the advantage as he heads for the first jump.
He's got a pretty good-sized lead right now, Gary. He gets over the cars nice and smooth. Look at that, not a lot of air, not as much as John, and oh, he gets out of shape. Oh, John Moore is out of his lane. He will be disqualified on that run. So Outlaw does have the win, but they're both going on strong because you never know what can happen.
Well, Mike Wine, the Jersey Outlaw Ford pickup truck, will take the victory. A wild ride for John Moore, and No Problem. The name not indicative of the kind of run that he had here.
Right, he had a little bit. We'll see right here when he takes that bad bounce and he gets a little crooked, and now does not have enough time to get back in his lane, and because of that, if he would have came back and won, he would have been disqualified.
Well, Mike Wine knew he had trouble. He backed off slightly, but here comes John Moore. He tries to make a race out of it, but the victory goes to the Jersey Outlaw. Mike Wine will be in the Final Four.